This video will show you how to replace the friction disc in your Champion 24-inch snowblower. If your drive control cables are appropriately adjusted, but the snowblower fails to drive when the drive control is engaged, then you may need to replace the friction disc. Always make sure the engine is off and remove the spark plug cap before performing any maintenance. Step 1. Empty the fuel tank by removing the drain bolt on the bottom of the carburetor and allowing the fuel to drain into an appropriate container. Then replace the drain bolt. Step 2. Place a blanket or piece of cardboard on the ground and carefully pivot the snowblower up and forward so that it's resting on the auger housing. Remove the access panel from the underside of the snowblower by removing the 6 bolts with a 10mm socket. Step 3. Remove the axle pins and remove both wheels, and then locate the nut behind the right wheel. Use a 17mm socket and an open wrench on the hex shaft to loosen this nut. Lightly tap the end of the shaft to dislodge the shaft from the bearing, and then fully remove this nut. Step 4. Carefully pull the hex shaft out of the left side of the body, and remove the friction disc assembly. Remove the 6 bolts and nuts on the friction disc assembly using 2 10mm wrenches, and remove the worn rubber friction wheel. Step 5. Insert your new rubber friction wheel into the assembly, and replace and tighten all 6 bolts and nuts. Replace the friction disc assembly into the gearbox and make sure to align the assembly with the gear shift pin. With the assembly in place, reinsert the hex shaft through the assembly and align the hex shaft with the transmission gear so they rotate together smoothly. To reassemble the unit, replace the washer and nut on the end of the hex shaft and tighten securely with an open wrench and a 17mm socket. Replace both wheels and axle pins, and replace the access panel and tighten the 6 bolts. Your friction disc replacement is complete. Perform a test drive to make sure everything is in working order. Always follow the safety guidelines in your operator's manual, and for more help guides, visit the Champion Help Center at help.championpowerequipment.com.